Hello all and welcome to another video. Want to make this one quick as usual, probably under 5 minutes. Yeah, just an update on what happened. So we had that little flash crash here. This was on Friday, and everyone got scared. And what happened? We crashed even further. That was yesterday on Saturday. So like these things are gonna happen. I said this in the last video as well that these things are gonna happen. And I just wanted to say that I think this is a good opportunity to buy the dip on Bitcoin. Like of course we could see lower, so I wouldn't put 100% of my capital in, but put some. And if you have like a job, it's not a bad time to start DCAing. You know, you have a paycheck of say, let's just say $100 today, and then one next week. You just put in 50 now, put in 50 next week, put in 50 the week after. DCA, it's a good idea if you're bullish on Bitcoin in the long term. Of course, if you're bearish for Bitcoin, don't DCA, but that's always a great strategy, and you kind of have a good discount here. Now, I did want to go over alts a little bit. So we still have Solana going, but a lot of alts crash a lot more than Bitcoin, and so I wanted to, I guess, just give my thoughts on how you should play alts. So when there are these huge crashes, they go down pretty fast, and I mean, you could see this quite easily when we look at the Bitcoin dominance chart. We could see every time it crashed, so this is the Friday crash, and Bitcoin dominance rose 2%, and then the other crash, it rose 1.3%, right? So that just means that people are dumping alts more than they're dumping Bitcoin. Um, Money is coming into Bitcoin, and people are selling their alts to put money into Bitcoin, if that makes sense. Um, I could have explained that better, but that's all you really know for what I'm going to teach you. But when you're playing alts, what's a popular alt? Okay, so if you're gonna be trading it, then you want to here, let's change my chart so that I don't have drawings on it. If you want to be trading alts in this market, you do not want to be catching these falling knives. If you're gonna be buying in spot and holding for long term, go ahead. I DCA'd like somewhere here, and I DCA'd a bit more here, and I still have some capital in case we go further down. But if we're talking about a short-term trade, you really want to see it reclaim the daily trend, and right now it doesn't really have much of a daily trend, right? Um, like maybe this would be the high, but we don't want to be playing Solana until it forms like kind of this structure, and then it like breaks above, right? It breaks above this key high, it reclaims the daily trend. That's what we'd be looking for. So we don't want to be catching these knives, and you really have to be careful, because you're gonna get wrecked if you try. I got wrecked on a couple positions trying to do that exact thing, and I learned my lesson. I took a few losses the other day, but now I know, any lesson that you learn, you're gonna have to pay for it in the markets, and that's just how it goes. Um, but yeah, don't be worried. Take this as a buying opportunity. And the last thing I wanted to go over is, I don't really put too much faith in these trend lines. But look at this pattern here, right? This was ETF news. What happens? We deviate above, buy the news, and then it kind of sold off. It deviated. It didn't break above this resistance technically because it broke up and then came right back down. And then what happens? It deviates the bottom. It breaks down and it comes right back up. So it wasn't a real breakout. It was a failed breakout both times. And then what happens? It shoots up. Okay, now as I said, I don't put too much faith in diagonal trend lines, but I'm just curious to see what happens. We deviated the top, we had a failed breakout, and now we deviated the bottom and we had a failed breakout. Does that mean that we're going to go up? I have no clue. I am a hyper bullish person on Bitcoin. Um, so I am definitely biased, but I also say that I don't put too much faith in the trend line, so I'm not gonna care too much about it, but I am gonna just watch, see what happens. If it happens, then that would be something interesting to note. Might be a good idea to look out for these deviation above, deviation below, buy here, and then boom. Okay, that's it for today's video. Just stay relaxed. It's really not a big deal when we look at the weekly chart. This is very insignificant of a dip, 50% dip. I think it was actually 70% here. So yeah, this is not a big dip. Um, but it is still an opportunity to buy. And don't get fearful. See you in the next one.